Hello, global locals. My name is Jen or Gene, and I'm from Indonesia, but I currently live in Germany. So in 2019, I had my 6-month internship in Germany, which is actually a mandatory internship that I had to do for my bachelor's degree in Indonesia, because my university was partnered up with a Fachhochschule in Germany, and that's kind of how we get our dual degree. The next year I came back to Germany to the same company to do my bachelor's thesis, and then the pandemic hit. I couldn't really go home, but then I was offered a full-time job, so I said yes, and so now I am still here. I am working as an automation engineer, and I'm also taking my part-time master's degree in electrotechnic or electrical engineering. So I guess I've been in Germany for almost 3 full years now. I travel back to Indonesia normally once a year. Will I move back? I don't know. I really want to travel and experience living in other countries, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna be in Germany or in Indonesia, or we'll see. So I was in a room with 3 other friends from uni, and we were in this big Jugendherberge, kind of like a youth hostel, but it's all like filled up with my friends, because we had 1 month of going to the Fachhochschule to study first. It was really fun, like 4 girls in 1 room in a foreign country. Let the adventure begin. I looked for housing in Germany online. I think that's also the common way how people do it. Since I was looking for a WG or a hngemeinschaft, which is like a shared flat, like a house with 4 different rooms and shared kitchen and bathroom. I looked for it online in wggesucht.de, but there are a lot of other websites you can use. Just Google in WG and then like your city, and a lot of results are gonna come out. I think it's better for you to search in German as well, because a lot of websites are German based. There's like no English version of the website, and that way you can also get maybe cheaper ones because it's targeted for locals instead of like tourists, The average rent really varies from city to city. If you live in a big city, then it's pretty expensive. I have a friend who has a private apartment with 2 rooms. She pays like around 700 euros monthly. That's in Düsseldorf, which is a pretty big city. I live kind of like in a dorf, in a WG with 4 people. I pay around 300 euros for my room, and it's fully furnished, and that's all inclusive, like electricity and water. For income tax, if you work in a company, the salary you get monthly is already cut for taxes and health insurance and retirement payments and everything. So the money you get is really your net salary per month. But every year you do have to do tax declarations. If you've just arrived in Germany and you're a student or you're gonna be working here, I would really recommend you just first explore your area, like get to know where the, supermarket is. But if you're a student and you have the glorious semester ticket, which is your transportation ticket that allows you to travel for free with public transport in your area, or if you're in NRW, then it's valid for the whole Bundesland. You can travel for free. Then really just travel. Use the ticket and just travel. And really just explore. I mean, bro, sis, you're in a new country. It's time to explore. The official language is Deutsch. It would be great if you know basic German, because the people here it also depends. Like if you're in a big city, then more people can speak English. But if you're in a smaller city or a dorf, yeah, they probably speak as much English as you speak German. I mean, it applies to anywhere in the world. Speaking the local language will help you in your everyday lives. People will just kind of be nicer to you, or like be more open to talk to you, because they feel comfortable speaking in their own language, and they know you're trying and you're a foreigner. They're not gonna laugh at you for your bad grammar. It just shows that you're interested in the German culture, and I think Germans really appreciate that, and they're gonna help you out with it. Yay. But if you speak like 0 German, you can get by. I mean, if you need to go to the supermarket, like you can just see the number on the screen and just pay with card or cash. Or if you go to a bakery, you can just point at the bread without speaking a word of German. But speaking German would allow you to communicate with locals, and if you really want to stay here, then I guess you would want to connect with people. So like learning German will only benefit you. I think Germany's like biggest selling point is like education is free. All public universities are basically free. You just have to pay like a very low amount of admin costs. I mean, I pay like around 200 to 300 euros per semester, and that's for every public university, even for English-based courses. And also Germany needs skilled workers, so they make it very attractive for foreigners who want to work in Germany. Are there a lot of foreigners? Well, again, it depends. If you're in a big city like Köln or Frankfurt or Berlin, klar, there are a lot of foreigners and a lot of people speak English because it's a big city. But if you live in a dorf, not so much. If you're a student in a student city, then there's also a lot of foreigners because there are the English courses. Because I live in the dorf, my closest friends here are all Germans. I do have friends from Indonesia, but I have to travel pretty far. They live like in other cities, like on the other side of Germany, but I do visit them sometimes. I think I'm quite lucky in the sense that I get friends quite easily here. So like my best friend is like, she's German, and I got to know her because we live in the same dorf and through a mutual friend, I guess. We have the same hobbies. We both like dancing, so I'm in her dance group. So that helped me also get to know other people. And also I take part in a local German church. And there we also have a community where there's also like small groups. And so I also have like 2 close friends from the German church. So I think if you want to make German friends, it can either be, if you're a student, then from your class, obviously, from your university. If you're at work, then your colleagues may be good friends. Or you should look for communities with the same hobbies. For example, if you like dancing, if you like, I don't know, bike riding, spazieren gehen, or if you like, you know, whatever hobbies, just look for communities in Germany. And lastly, if you're religious, then you can look for a spiritual community. A popular expression in Germany is drück dir die Daumen, which is like press your thumbs, which basically means good luck. So in English, it would be like fingers crossed. I'm currently on the blue card visa, which is basically a work visa for people in the STEM industry, like the science, technology, engineering, math, because I'm working as an automation engineer. I think the most common visa is a student visa. Like normally people come here for example, their masters, because while you're a student here, you can look for part-time jobs, and because you graduated from a German university, it would be easier to transition to work life and transition to the work visa afterwards. Plus the education is so cheap, so like why not? I love the German healthcare system. So if you stay in Germany, you need to have health insurance. It's like Pflicht. It's mandatory. Everyone needs it. You can't work without it. You can't get a salary, or you can't even enter the country without it, I think. And so the great thing is, if you go to a doctor, your health insurance company covers it. So you never have to pay if you go to a doctor, and you get standard treatment. If you, even to the dentist as well, like for like a yearly checkup, that's covered. I had my wisdom teeth removed. That's also covered by my insurance. I didn't pay a cent. But if you want to do like things that are not really necessary for your health, for example, I don't know, if you want to get your teeth whitened or something and you don't need it, then you have to pay for it privately. But otherwise, if you get a, I don't know, a cold, or if you need, I had like blood checks and stuff, that's all covered by the insurance. Also, if you're sick and you take days off work, your health insurance actually pays your salary for those days. And I pay for the health insurance monthly, which is like directly cut from my salary. So I don't even have to like transfer anything. I think the biggest stereotype about Germans is they're cold. And they like beer. So are Germans cold? In the beginning, yes, I would say so. But once you get to know them, they're actually super warm and super duper helpful. But Germans do like their beer. Prost! The climate where I live, it's raining every day in winter, but sometimes there's snow. In summer it gets pretty hot, you know, typical 4-season country, but with, I would say like there are 30% nice weather days and the rest are typical German weather days. Biggest culture shock here, I think they don't do small talk, because coming from Indonesia, we are a land of friendly people who loves small talk and who are super nosy and friendly and open in the beginning, but Germans are very private, in the beginning like very closed and cold. And also they're very direct. So if they don't like something, they will tell it to your face that they don't like something. Which is actually pretty good. I think Germany is known for like technology-oriented companies. And beer. Activities people like to do here. Because I live in a dorp again, we are surrounded by beautiful forests and nature. In spring and summer, they would like to go for spazieren. It's like spazieren gehen. They're just literally spazieren gehen is like just taking a walk. But it's beautiful here. You can take a walk through the forest, and that's a really nice activity, especially with the lockdown where stores are closed. You just take a walk in beautiful nature and breathe frische Luft or fresh air. Country's national dish, I would say currywurst and beer. But more generally, I think there's a lot of meat in the food, a lot of potatoes. Potatoes in like a lot of different kinds of potatoes they make here. A lot of pork as well, a lot of sausages, Haxe, meat, Schnitzel, currywurst. Germans are gonna hate me for this, but like I hear a heck ton of like Schlager music, which is like things you listen in like German Dorffest, like village parties, but people say they hate, but they secretly vibe to. For example, which means like go get a beer, you're looking ugly again. Or I won't say too much or Germans will stop watching after this. Interesting story. I was traveling to Hamburg and that was like my first solo trip like in 2020. So I was just standing in front of the Elbphilharmonie, which is like the big theater that looks like the wavy thing. And like a German lady just came up to me and was like, oh, do you want to watch a concert? I'm like, what? And then basically I'm like, sure. I wasn't dressed for a classical music concert, but she just gave me a free ticket because her friend couldn't make it. And so that night I watched a private classical music concert in Elbphilharmonie Hamburg. It was beautiful. I loved it. For free. Thank you, nice lady. She was nice. I actually made a video about it. Tooting my horn. Yes, you can go to my channel and check out the full story for that time a stranger invited me to a private concert in the Elbphilharmonie. Moving on. Did living abroad change who I am? I don't think it changed who I am, but it did change a lot of perspectives I had, and I really do recommend everyone to just travel or try living abroad for some time, because you kind of realize that the world is big and that people from other places are different from what you know, and so you wouldn't like think that your mindset is the right one, but just there's so many other ways to see things. And at the end of the day, you might stick with your own and you think, oh yeah, after knowing all of this, I think my thoughts are still the best, but at least you're exposed to a lot of different cultures. And I think that just makes you also a lot more accepting towards people and more open-minded. That's how it changed me, at least. If you guys like me and the things I've been saying, you can go check out my channel Jess, Geste on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok at Genesia Sinclair. I make short comedy videos about language and cultures. So thank you all for watching. This is Jen signing out. Tschüss, mach's gut!
Enjoy yourself. We in them roaring 20s. Must be them roaring 20s. Say la vie. Yes, indeed.